Next time you're at a ham fest, you might want to check out some radios like this. They pop up at ham fests every once in a while, and they don't seem to be that popular. I've gone by tables where these things will sit and nobody's really interested in them, and they generally go pretty cheap. Some of these were like $5 a piece, and sometimes, you know, you find a guy that has a box of them. I bought a few of them here. They're older. These are from probably around 1990-ish, and so they don't have a lot of the bells and whistles a lot of the new radios have, but the nice thing about them is they're programmable. In fact, you can program them without any type of external device. They can be programmed directly from the keyboard. Now the units I have here are made by 3 different manufacturers. You can see here you've got one from Regency, you've got Wilson, and over here you got from Realm. And they're all basically the same radio. They're either 10 or 16 channel. They output around 25 watts a piece, and they can be used simplex or have duplex as long as you transmit within, I think it's like 6 megahertz. Otherwise they won't tune out of that range if you're operating split, you know, like with a repeater system. They do come out with different flavors here, which you have to kind of watch out for. And I'm referring to frequency range here. They are limited, and they're made to go through different segments of the band here, the VHF band. The one with an A unit, the frequency range model A, goes from 134 to 150. The model B goes from 150 to 162. The model C from 162 to 174 megahertz, and then there was a UK model, which was the same as the Model C. And so if you can, try to get yourself a Model A, and that will be directly tunable into the Amateur 2 meter band. But if you can't get the Model A, it is possible to modify these fairly easily. There's a number of ceramic disc caps you have to change to put it in the segment of the band you want there. So that's something to keep in mind. Here's looking in the top of the unit here. These are laid out pretty nice. They're very easy to repair too, because all the components are visible to the human eye, which is kind of nice compared to some of the newer rigs. And to program these radios, what you have to do, on the board here next to this large chip, there's a pad here that you have to jumper, and when you jumper that pad, you're able to program the radio using the keyboard here. You enter a programming mode, and then you're able to input all your data. You can input your receive frequency, your transmit frequency, any PL tones you want. If you want to use it split, like with a repeater, etc. That can all be done on the keypad here. What I've done on the units I have, in place of the jumper, I've placed a toggle switch here in the back of the unit that's protruding out of the back. That way I can reprogram it without taking the radio apart. So to program it, you just flip the switch to program, and then do your programming sequence, and then when you're done, turn it off, flip it back to operate, and you're ready to go. Here's 2 units. These are both WH2510s. This particular one has the Regency brand, and this one has the Wilson. So some of these companies were sold to other companies or combined to other companies, so that's why you might see different names here, but they're basically the same radios. And they're pretty nice radios here. They're built for commercial use. Test 1, 2, 3, test. Hello, test. Test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3. Here's the RH256NB. This one is has the Realm brand name on it. Basically the same unit. If you take these things apart, you'll pretty much find the same guts inside. And the difference was, you know, some of these had 10 channels and some had 16. These are really easy to tune up also. They have the tuning procedures in the manuals, and you may find these manuals on the internet. I think I got these on the Repeater Builder page, which covers some of these. And then another one I think I got at a Hamfest. I got a Realm manual. I think I bought that from somebody, I think on eBay or whatever. But the tuning procedure is quite simple. You've got test points in here, and you just peak the different coils and tune up. This is your transmitter finals are in this section here, the shielded section. Of course, you've got your input, you've got your tuned inputs here, and then the exciters down at this end, and it feeds the transmitter. And the nice thing about it is basically does everything these modern radios do, except you don't get 100 channels, but who needs that? I mean, I think for me, living out here in the rural area, 10 channels is more than enough that I'd ever need. Here you can see, now this meter's reading a little low. I have to tune this radio up. This is a radio on the other end. It's showing about 8 watts output. So you should get about 25 watts. So this radio needs a little work. I need to peak these. I don't know what these were on when I first got them. I didn't write it down, but these were in a commercial band. And like I say, there's some procedures you can do to put these into the band segment where you want to operate them in the ham 2-meter band. There's some components you have to change. And there is a list in the manuals here that show for which segment you want what values capacitors you have to use. So it's quite easy. If you take the bottom off here, you got access to the bottom of the board. So soldering and unsoldering is fairly simple here. There's a lot of things you can do with these units also. For example, you can just use the receiver if you don't want to transmit. And here's an example here. Right here I have a relatively inexpensive DTMF decoder that's driving 8 relays. And I have it connected up to 12 volts here, and the output here is connected to the speaker output jack on the radio here. So what I'm doing is I'm using the receiver to pick up a transmitted signal, and I'm using the DTMF board to decode the DTMF tones and give me relay outputs here. And of course you can see on each side here are your connections to the relay. And the way this works is you set your volume level, and you've got 8 different outputs. So that's another option you have here using these devices. Anyway, I hear a lot of people say, well, ham radio is too expensive to get into, but it isn't really. Here's a really inexpensive way to get on, at least on VHF, and do it quite economical. And these radios show up all the time at Hamfest. And the nice thing about it is, and what I like about these is you can program them without taking the radio apart if you do that simple modification I showed in this one here. So if you want to operate simplex or repeaters, these rigs work quite well. And 25 watts is really, you know, pretty good output. And they don't overheat like some of these newer radios. They can get quite hot. So next time you're at a Hamfest, keep your eyes open for these and pick one up. They're easy to fix, easy to program, and they do a lot of things that some of these new radios do. They don't have the channel capacity that some of these newer radios do, but it's a pretty good deal for the price. And like I say, they're really easy to fix. So that's a quick tip for today. Keep your eyes open for these, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.